Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War. And this podcast is our thoughts and discussions about the Flames of War games and other related interests. This episode is brought to you by Tracy George and Chaos Magic. We are not claiming to be experts of the game, but just wanted to have a casual conversation about Flames of War. Without any further delay, we now make our advance onto the podcast. And here are your hosts, Tracy and Arthur.
This is Tracy.
And I'm Arthur.
Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War, Episode 7, Soldier's Fury. What's on tap for today's episode, Arthur?
We have 7 segments this week. They are the following. We look at the various elements on Battlefront's homepage on Front Page News. We will review a movie we both have seen in Reconnaissance. I will talk about my new toys in Our Hobby. Italy gets a turn on Keep Your Enemies Close. We will take a quick look at infantry weapons in That's New. We start a new segment called National Tactics about nation's special rules. And we end with a subject that can be described in 5 words. Sun Tzu, Art of War.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Battlefront Front Page News.
Alright, so we're going to look at Battlefront Front Page News. And I see a lot of, I guess they're called Army sets coming out.
Yes, I just looked at the Ramsky's Charge.
Funny, I looked at Gimbals Beast, which is the USA one. You actually do get a lot in it. I looked at what you get, and you get, like in the USA one, you get 2 command tanks, and they're M4A3 Lates. You get 3 Pershings, and then you also get another platoon of M4A3 Lates, and then you get a platoon of armored rifles. And they have the points down here, and I guess it's from the Bridge of Remagen is where they're getting these points or something, because they have the book next to it. Oh, I guess it's 1,350 points in this box.
Well, I didn't see how many points was in this box.
It should be over to the left. I didn't see it till now. It lists what's in there on the left side, and it says this box includes 1,350 points of models.
That's on the front page.
No, I actually clicked on the box itself, and it shows the back and how to put the models together, and it gives their rating. You know, like what is the M4A3 Late, and it shows its armor, what weapons it has, and then they have an assembly guide that you can click onto. It has the Pershing, and then the armored rifles. So it doesn't give the stats for the men, it just does the half tracks. But if I don't know what the price is on this, but if I was starting out, this looks like a box I would be interested in.
I've seen it locked up, but I did look at some of the stuff that's in here. I know there's 2 command tanks of Panzer IV H's, 1 platoon of I can't remember, about 3 or 4 Panzer IVs, and another platoon of Stug G's.
I'm looking here. Okay, you got your 2 Panzer IV H's, your HQ.
Yeah.
Then you have a platoon of 3 Panzer IV H's, and another platoon that's 3 Stug G's. Yeah. And then your Panzer Grenadier platoon, which has a commander, Panzerfaust SMG team, and 6 machine gun teams and 4 half tracks.
Yeah, total like
decals.
48 figures.
965 points for that. So if you buy, well, you wouldn't need to buy 2. You'd have your army, but you wouldn't buy 2 of those, because why would you need 2? Unless you just want the tanks.
Yeah.
You don't need 2 of the commanders. But it's a good starter. It's just there's no price here yet.
Yeah, well, let's see how much that costs.
So that's pretty good. And they got one for Soviets also, so there's nothing for British. And going down to talk about their Barbarossa's nominated for an Origins Award. And
the category was Best Historical Miniature Rules Supplement.
We'll see how that goes. Origins is, I want to say July.
Something like
I haven't
that.
gone in like 5 years, so I can't even remember.
I just know there's like awards for things in the gaming industry.
Yeah. Then some more updates on the digital side. And they're looking for somebody to do web assistant. I'm not a web assistant, so I guess that's not going to interest me.
And because of what it is. They would like someone to be in New Zealand, so it's unlikely for people outside the country to.
I don't know. You never know.
Oh, that's what they said.
Really?
Due to the nature of the role, overseas applicants are unlikely to be considered.
Oh, really? I didn't even get that far. I just saw web assistant and I said, well, that's not going to apply
Yeah.
to me, so I'm not even going to look. Reminds me, I do need to get my passport updated. Salute. Wayne looks at history of some SS group, it looks like. And some more errata on Devil's Charge and Nuts. And then the podcast and what's this Breakthrough Assault Avoiding the... Is that another podcast?
That's the blog of the Beyond the Foxhole.
Oh, okay.
Though I actually listened to this entire episode, and there's a couple of things I want to mention about it. Because the entire episode is they took a trip to a early war tournament, and they talked about before, after, and during it. In fact, the first part of the section was they recorded. They were literally driving to the convention. So I found that weird. Also, the format of the tournament was also kind of weird. They didn't quite explain it. But at base, it's like a 15-50 point tournament, but it has some kind of mechanics of going up and down. You can increase or decrease your points.
Oh.
So I know one of them had like a 1,700 point list, a 1,550 point list, and a 1,400 point list. And it seems like he had to make, I guess, the choice of how many you're going to do at the beginning of the tournament. But I couldn't quite understand if you had the choice between games.
Oh.
Because he mentioned that one game was like, he went with one list, but if you would have thought about it, you should have went with a different list. So I wasn't sure if you, at the beginning of the list, you can say, I'm going to have two 1,700, one 1,550, and two 1,400. And
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to listen to it because I don't know. That's confusing to me too.
I find it really interesting. Also, like, I guess there's a running joke about one of the people in this circles named Robin, as he's known for buying new lists, painting them, and selling them. And the running joke was like, at that tournament, his Japanese list was on eBay.
Really?
And it asked the people, so what should he build next? And there was a couple of jokes. It was like, maybe I should suggest this, and then wait for 2 weeks to see if it shows up on eBay to buy it. And since you hate painting, you might.
I don't like painting. Man, I like playing. I don't like painting.
You might see you can contact him and just suggest an army.
I don't. Well, then again, that Pacific book's going to be coming out, so who knows? Who knows? All right, so going on down, we're at question of the week. I'm dreading these now because I've been failing big time on these. So we answered last time 66 and 67, but we did not have the answers, so we need to go to those. Okay, here it is. 66 was about the clean break, about somebody leaving the battlefield, and do they need to do a skill test? And both of us said yes. And I gave my reason was if you're so close, you can get captured, and yours was just, I think, kind of the same reasoning, but it didn't matter if you were close or not, if I remember right, for your reasoning on that. And it's yes!
Yes.
Whoa! Things have turned around for us, Arthur. Woo! So we got that one. Woohoo. Now, should we just stop right there since we got it right?
No, let's finish it.
All right, so moving on to 67, which is another one we answered. To take platoon shot, and could they assault the infantry?
Yeah.
And both of us said yes because they were within 8 inches. And the answer is yes. All right, Arthur. We should just stop right there. We're done. We're not going to do any more.
You're 2 for 2 this week.
Well, we were like...
Or 2 for 2 last week.
I think I was 0 for 4 last time or something like that, or 0 for 2.
Yeah.
So that we're ready for 68, which is a new one. And probably the answer, what I'm learning now is the answer is not down there.
Yeah, I think it'll take them 2 weeks to...
It seems like it. Or else it's just a couple days after we do this. All right, so on 68, has the assaulting platoon won? Oh, this one's going to be a tough one. So I'm going to start kind of different they do. They have the poll question first and then the situation. I'm going to do the situation first, then the poll question. Okay. So an American armored rifle platoon with all of its teams mounted in their M3 half-tracks. The platoon is assaulted by a German pioneer platoon, making contact with all of the half-tracks. The German assault bails out all of the half-tracks. None are destroyed and no passengers are harmed. So the question is, has the assaulting platoon won? Yes or no?
It just feels weird for yes or no. It's like, for me, it would like either be yes or they're still fighting. So I guess that would be a no. I'm not sure. So, what do you have?
I'm going to go no. I don't think they're pinned down or anything. I think they can still assault. Because you can, if I'm right, during an assault, you can dismount during an assault. So I'm thinking, now, if their half tracks were destroyed in the assault, yeah, they're dead. There's no save for them. But they got bailed out, so the guys jumped out, and I think they're able to assault. Of course, the way my track record's been going, so I want to say no, the assaulting platoon has not won.
And the fight just keeps going.
Right. You still got to do your check to see if you come back. That's what I'll go with.
I wasn't sure, so I wrote yes. So.
All right. So
one of us is going to be right.
Yep. See, this is how we get 100% on these. Of course, we blew it earlier when we both said yes on one of them. So I say no, and you say yes on that. And let's just see if it is down there. No. Should okay, so it's not there. So 69 now. This one definitely will not be down there. All right, so the situation is 5 USA SP are self-propelled artillery platoons fire a combined artillery bombardment. How do they position the artillery template? Ooh, there's A through F, so there's a lot of choices. So
that's weird.
A, so we need to do something like A, B, C, D, E, F, E, and Arthur. And we'll just, like we usually do, we'll go through these one at a time maybe. All right, so A, line the template with the artillery platoon with the best firepower.
I think you're supposed to just pick one of these.
Is it just pick one? Okay, we can do it that way. B is find the middle between all participating platoons and align the template with that position. C, line the template with the platoon standing closest to the aiming point. D, line the template with the platoon of the shooter's choice. E, line the template with the artillery platoon with the worst firepower. And F, line the template with the artillery platoon with the most number of participating gun teams. All right, I'm going to go with that is my choice.
I picked mine. Then I'm trying to like, okay, which one was that again? Yeah, I got mine.
Okay, I got mine written down here. So
mine is B.
Okay, yours is B, which is find the middle between all participating platoons and align the template with that position. I will go D, which is line the template with the platoon of the shooter's choice. So I could choose which of those platoons I want to line the template up with. That's what I'll go with. And I have been wrong before, so.
I just noticed like the poll question and the question below is a little different. What you read was 5 US SP artillery platoons, and the poll question is 4.
Oh yeah! Wow.
So that's like a oops.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not going to make it. It's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would even make a difference. To tell you the truth.
But a mistake is a mistake.
Wow, 5 platoons. Whoa, that's all you're going to have on the table if you have 5 artillery.
Oh wow!
But self-propelled, there's like Priest and these big guns here. I forgot what they're called. But they're big, massive. Yeah.
I just never considered it being platoons. So I'm just like, oh wow, that's gonna hurt.
All right, so we'll see how we do next time. Or yeah, we're going to be 100% next time, right?
Sure.
You're right.
Sure.
All right, soldier, at ease. What is it?
Sir, I just got the recon report in. There's some interesting developments in it. The report says...
All right, so we both saw the movie Fury. Of course, we didn't see it together.
Yep. I saw it yesterday.
And I saw it a couple of days ago. I don't know how to start this, because this is kind of odd, because normally it's just one of us would take this, but we've both seen this one.
Yes. For me, it was weird, because, like, always came towards the Flames of War game more like this being fun and doesn't mean that much.
Right.
Now, like I don't think I can approach the game the same way after watching Fury.
Do you know what? When you shoot at my Shermans, think about those poor people in the Shermans, and then don't shoot them.
Or just think about the ones I really hated.
That is one thing. Okay, you're kind of heading towards one of the things. The characters in that movie, I just didn't feel anything towards them. I got to where I was like, oh, well, you know, I got to where I didn't really like the characters in that movie for the most part.
Yeah, that was something really strange. It's like, I kind of liked the main guy, though he was extremely green, but the amount of
You mean the new driver, assist driver? Okay.
Yeah, and they were just so mean to him over and over again, and also Brad Pitt's character. At some points he was quite noble, and then other times he was just a downright awful. He assassinated someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it wasn't an SS person, which we early on found out he really hates SS.
Yeah, another thing that kind of got me about that movie was watching the shooting. They had pretty good battle scenes. It seems like the Americans were hitting all the time. It was just bouncing off. Germans trying to hit, though. Shoo! Shoo! Oh, it glanced us. Even with when the guys at the end. I hope I'm not giving. I'm going to get spoilers. Sorry, this is going. If you don't want to just go past this part. But like when they were at the end, and they had all those Panzerfausts coming up onto the tanks, and they're shooting those Panzerfausts at the tank, and first one does nothing. The second one kind of blows up a little bit. You know, it's kind of like, no, the tank's just sitting there, and they could sneak up on that tank.
It's kind of, the weapon's kind of inaccurate. They kind of don't fly straight and kind of fly off, so that's why I kind of took that. It also seemed like some points of the tank you hit it and it just goes off, and other points you just hit it exactly, and just like pierce right through the tank, and just like there's one shot and hit the tank, just like if there was no one there, it probably wouldn't did much. Someone was there though.
Oh yeah, that one that went through the guy. That's right. Yeah, and then like the towed anti-tank guns that were in the forest. I don't think they hit a single Sherman except for glancing one.
Yeah, that kind of just mowed through them.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, it's kind of like when I watched that first combat movie, and I talked about how the Germans couldn't hit. A combat TV show, I should say. And that German in the tank and all that, and the guys would, they just couldn't seem to hit any Americans at all. They couldn't even wound them. You know, I felt the same kind of situation here.
Though the fight with the Tiger,
yes.
that was intense.
Yeah, well, that was just to get rid of the other tank, so that Fury tank is left by itself.
And that's the other thing about the movie. I was playing the game, or it seemed like half like superior tanks, like my Jaeger Tiger and all this stuff. I'm like thinking, how did Germany lose again? Oh, just sheer numbers.
Sheer numbers, yeah.
And they couldn't produce stuff fast enough. So in that one fight, it was just 4 Shermans versus 1 Tiger, and that was an old Tiger.
Yeah.
It was still a terror.
Yep. With an 88, yes.
If they were ran across it like a Jaeger Tiger, that's game over. I would like to see an explosion from a shot from that thing hit, because if that hits anything, it's probably just gone.
Well, I guess one of the things they did get true also was like that guy came in and he had no training in tanks. Because I'm going to probably do a review on this thing I saw, but it was talking about guys that were in the Shermans and stuff during World War II, and they kind of went through the history of it. But they talked about, these guys were coming in, some of them never even seen a tank, and they were thrown to be part of the crew.
Wow.
Because they were just getting so desperate for men to fill those tanks up. Because they would repair the tanks, but there's nobody to fill up the tanks.
Yeah.
Because they were losing men.
And still, like, sometimes people do stupid stuff during combat. They just break down. Like, only got so far in Tigers in the Mud, but early on, Caius mentioned, like, early on when he took command, like, they got attacked, and he got scared and just ran away. And since he was the lead tank, the others thought he was the radio went out, so they all followed him, leaving like the other men out there in the open by themselves shooting.
Oh wow!
And then after a couple minutes, he realized, "Oops!" and went back to the front line, and guys, the infantry just held their own and just looked at him and just like, if that's how you're gonna act, you should just go back home, because. So that's what I thought of when I saw like the new guy and how green he was.
Right.
It's like stuff like that can happen, and and something else about I don't think I would appreciate the movie as much if I didn't already play the game. And one of the things about that was like the little kid at the in the beginning of the movie took out the tank.
Right.
Yeah, like that's the unit you hate. And I realized that from his uniform. And like, I just feel strange realizing like, oh, this is a unit of kids and the elderly. So it still feels kind of weird trying to use them.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to figure out what tank that they were driving. Finally got it. It was an EZ-8.
What tank?
An EZ-8, M3, M4, something like that. E8. They call it EZ-8, which is you can move. In the game, you can move 6 inches. As long as you don't go through rough training, you get your full rate of fire because the suspension was really good and it's got a really big gun. But one thing I did notice, it had like an extra 30 caliber machine gun on top. And it looked like it didn't even have a coaxial machine gun. So it had the hull mounted, and you had the 50 caliber anti-aircraft, and then on top, next to the anti-aircraft was another 30 caliber, which would normally be down but beside the turret, or the barrel of the big gun.
I thought like the driver had a gun he was using.
That's the hull mounted. There's normally 3 guns on a Sherman. There's the hull mounted, the coaxial, which is in turret, so it moves with the main gun, and then the anti-aircraft on top. Yeah. But it seems like they moved that machine gun to the top of the turret.
And then it seemed that both drivers had guns they could fire separately.
I don't think the driver had one. The assistant driver did. The kid, because they told him to shoot. Yeah, so that was one thing I was kind of a little confused about, but it's a movie.
Yeah, and other thing is like I didn't see what tank was in the building, but we went to the city and there was a tank in the building. I think that was like a Stug.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was like it didn't get a very good view of it, but it looked like it was kind of low, and I don't think it was. I think it was hull mounted. So, and I saw from one of these videos like advantage of hull mounted tanks is like sneak attacks. So
right.
You just stand there and wait for them to move into range and then fire, which is what they did.
Yeah. So it's probably a Stug or maybe a Hetzer. I didn't catch it, so I don't know.
I think it looked more like a Stug to me, but only got had very little light inside the building.
Yeah, so I don't remember that one. So.
Oh man. Man. Oh, there's also speaking of not liking the characters, the scene with the woman in the apartment.
Okay. Yes.
Like I got scared for a moment because like I thought they're gonna do something that like.
Well,
and then it didn't. But then the rest of the crew showed up, and they were so animals.
They were drunk too, I think. But yeah, I knew what was going to happen too with the women, because they were just so setting it up to have that kid change. Because they were trying to change him during the movie, and you knew something was going to happen, probably change it. I knew, oh, here it is. She's going to get killed.
Oh, like I thought something else was going to happen, but it didn't. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But just how rude those guys was, like that's her egg, and then he just grabs it and licks it and put him back. I'm like, really?
I guess if you're in war, you just have to get your frustrations out somehow, some way, Because normally there's not very many nice times, and they're they're in the front lines, and the rest of their platoon's gone.
I think that's the point that I like. Brad Pitt's character grew on me because he protected the women.
But it's like you said, it was like a bipolar character.
Yeah.
Here he is, all nice and all that, and then all of a sudden it's the opposite, and then it just seems like it's one or the other.
Like it depends. It's just like like these kind of things. Like okay, I'm going to deal with that. But yeah, I think it's the SS that and trying to teach the kid. That will also kind of bend them toward the dark side.
I think he just wanted to live, too, because he knew that he wasn't going to do his job. They probably wouldn't survive because they need everybody doing their job.
True, but if he really wanted to survive, he would have left at the end. But
yeah,
that came across. I think was the his hatred of the SS. Also, something like after watching the movie, I went to Wikipedia to read the review to see if I missed anything. Which is like one of the things I missed was like how important that bridge was, because I think like if they would have got past them, there's like civilians in.
Oh.
So that place they were watching over was really, really important. So that's the other reason why he bunkered down to make his last stand, and not just I hate SS. And
well, the other thing that reminded me of like at the end when he's shooting that 50 caliber is Audie Murphy. If you ever read about Audie Murphy, he stayed behind and he just stayed on it was like an M10 or something like that tank destroyer, and he held off the Germans.
Yeah, that I went to Wikipedia. It was some listing saying like stuff in the movie is fiction, but like they seem to grab a lot of elements from real life. And one of the things they mentioned was like an incident with Audie Murphy.
Oh.
And then there's other incidents that happened. Like this seemed like this incident and that incident. But I think overall for me, I give it 4 Iron Crosses out of 5.
Oh no, we're going to Iron Crosses for you. Okay, for me, I'm going to do 2 General Star. I didn't get into the characters, and it just seemed like Germany couldn't hit until that Tiger deal. And they were just getting nicked. Even when they pinned down that platoon of men to bring the Shermans leading in the way, even their machine guns seemed like they couldn't hit, except for a few times. So I'm going to give it a 2 General Star. Iron Crosses.
Our hobby.
All right, Arthur, I see you got a new toy.
I got a few new things. So, but the crown jewel of my army is I finally got a version of a Jaeger Tiger of my own. So eventually I'm going to be putting that together soon. Also picked up 2 sets of paints. One for German infantry, one for German armor. Of course, when I got them home and looked at it again, I'm kind of disappointed when it says like, along with the quartermaster set, this paint have everything you need. I'm like, wait, there's something else I need?
Really?
Screw it. It's like, if I don't have it now, I'll make up my own color. But yeah, I actually have enough for a pretty good list for original Ramongan. Of course, I think I need another Jaeger Tiger. And I think I need another Whirlwind. But I think that will be most points of a list in that book.
Yeah. Except for the men. Well, are you getting...
I have 1 unit.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have the one we talked about before, the kids.
Yeah, the kids. The Volks.
The Volkssturm.
Yeah. People's Army.
The People's Army. So I'm gonna put those together. So now I have the colors for those, and I'm gonna need to borrow this book so I can look up how they paint them. Even though they don't have a uniform, I didn't realize they just have an armband. So I just
Oh, really?
I just could paint them like random colors.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know they had armbands.
Yeah, that's how I knew in the furry movie that the little kid was because he had an armband.
Oh, so I learned something new.
Yeah. Something else I learned something new recently, like looking up stuff, is like I finally learned the numbers on German tanks. I found a Battlefront article that talked about it, because I had no idea what like the 415 or the 218 what that meant. Now I do. It's company, platoon, unit. So if it's going to be in the first number is a company, the fourth company, so all the tanks would be 400.
Okay.
And then the platoon number, like if it's the first platoon, the second platoon, the third platoon, whatever. And then in that platoon, what tank that is, first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
What if they had 10 tanks in the platoon?
I don't think it usually did. But the few times, for whatever reason, the number goes up, they expanded it. It'd be like a 4-digit number. And I also found out from them was like, because it used to be like the number one was the platoon commander. So like 421, 431, all those would be the platoon commanders, and the Allies quickly realized what was going on and started targeting them. So then they kind of changed it up to being like the platoon commander was in the 5th position, moving up in.
Oh, okay.
So with that knowledge, it's like I can go start putting, I will be putting numbers on there now that I know what it means and have some kind of idea. Be my own companies and stuff, my fantasy stuff, but the ideas would be the same as what it was in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So I start getting putting up numbers. So yeah, so right now I have 2 Whirlwinds, a Jaeger Tiger, and 1 platoon of Volkssturm. Not counting the Panzer IVs I bought earlier. But I think all that, I'm going to try to put all that together in the next month and a half.
Awesome.
So I'm actually start playing with my own stuff.
Yeah, and I look at it and I'll begin to recognize what this stuff is.
Yeah, especially the Whirlwind. So you're like, oh, that's what.
I think I'll recognize those because they're very unique looking.
Yeah. Well, before like I had nothing. You had nothing to look like them. So like.
Right.
So what are those again? Those are the Whirlwinds. And, like what? Yeah, anti-air stuff. Now it'll be like no question.
Well, you shouldn't run anti-air because you know what? It's a waste to run anti-air because I never run aircraft.
Yeah.
That's a waste of money. You don't need to buy one, or 2, or 3, or 4. How many
You're
were
right.
you getting?
You're right. I think I just get 5.
No.
Keep your allies close, but keep your enemies closer.
All right, it's your week for giving me keep your enemies close.
I think this time I'm going to do Italy, and I'm going to pick a basic squad, pretty much the parachute squad.
And these are infantrymen.
Infantry,
Okay.
mid-war.
All right.
The Paradisu squad.
And which book is this out of?
This is North Africa.
North Africa. Okay.
They are rifle machine gun teams, but the things I like about them, because like most of Italy's guys, you have the Rosie. I'm going to have this game. These guys are always fearless veterans, so
Wow.
that's why I like them. And they also have the option to pick up bombs, which give them a tank assault 3, I believe.
That's pretty good.
So,
Well, then again, that's actually really awesome because in mid-war, is there anything that has top armor too?
probably not a lot.
I don't think really anything. Of course, I don't know everything that's available, but that's the extra 1 when you only have top armor 1.
Unfortunately, they're improvised, so rolling on 1, you kill yourself. But one slight problem with this list is they have very little vehicles and armor. They have very little. So, but I still think I like them because the men are so well trained. So you have to rely more on your infantry and troops to do stuff.
Right.
So like you got tanks, it's like you don't have very many artillery and stuff to take it out. This list have no airplane, so I'm gonna do it on men. Just run up on there and just have a fairly good chance of passing tank terror with being fearless.
Right. Now, is this one of those lists that has like 20,000 guys in one platoon?
No. I wish. I wish I had like 35 guys who like, yeah, I'm fearless veteran.
Fearless veteran.
Like,
well, how many's in a platoon?
7.
That's including the leader.
Yep.
Now, is the leader a rifle machine gun too?
Yes, he's
Okay.
a rifle machine gun, or you could upgrade him to a submachine gun at no cost.
How much is it for the whole crew?
135 for two squads, 185 for 3 squads.
That's pretty good.
That's for 7 guys,
Wow, that's really good.
and 10 points more if you want the bombs.
Is it 10 points total or 10
10
points
points per.
That'd be what, 30 more points?
It says 10 points per platoon.
Oh, well, that'd be all of them in there. 'Cause each of these is a... Yeah, because each of those is a squad. And then your whole total of squads is the whole platoon. So it's just 10 points for the whole...
Oh,
For all of them, no matter how many you buy, just 10 points.
wow.
wow.
I think I did that wrong last time I used them.
You still beat me. Even if you cheated yourself, you still beat me.
It was still a fairly close game.
Yeah. Well, that sounds
But,
good. So unlike the others, you automatically know that these guys are fearless veterans.
yeah, you guys
Now,
are always fearless veterans.
is everything else fearless veteran that you can get? Like, let's say a tank. Or is that one of those things you're going to have to roll?
That's a support.
So you're probably going to have to roll back.
So like if it's like is an Italy tank, then yes, you're gonna have to roll.
Okay.
But most likely you can also take a German tank, so you don't have to roll because they're German.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
If you take Germany, you just use all the German rules. But
Well, it sounds you're getting kind of the best of both worlds then.
yeah, but that's only for the support platoons. For the combat platoons and the weapon platoons, like all that is fearless veterans. You don't have to worry about it. It's just that the only range stuff they have is platoons, or not platoons, mortars.
Now, as far as these guys go, do they have all the special Italy rules?
Yes.
The Avanti. Okay. Do they have any other special rules?
No.
Just a fearless veteran part.
just-
and the bombs.
Yeah, and they could pick up bombs.
Wow, that's... Yeah, and trying to pin those guys is going to be tough, too. Because, they're fearless. Oh, I'm unpinned.
Yep, I'm pinned. Okay, and to hit me, you still need starting with force.
Yeah. Wow.
And if I'm not pinned down, but on the ground, dug in, it's like,
Wow, 6s. If I'm beyond 16, forget it.
yeah. And then if I have bombs, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run up on you.
Oh,
Do my Star Trooper move,
yeah.
assault you. If you got tanks, I have bombs to take care
Yeah,
of you.
and you're what, if I'm within 14 inches
Yeah.
of you. Yeah.
Of course, in the game, I did try to do that with them. It's like I failed the tank turret.
That's not going to happen very often, though.
Yeah,
They're
it's like-
fearless.
Yeah, fearless. I rolled a 1, which just left me right out in the open too.
Well, if you had taken your company commander, you could have got a reroll.
Yeah,
So remember that next time.
and the commander also can get bombs.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Which is that's what I was doing in our game. We had over here. I was sending my company commander over there because he had a bomb, so he could have took your tank out.
Problem is, I had to be that close
Yeah.
because of the objective.
Well, he started way over here. I just will slowly track him over. Yeah, one of the turns I forgot to stormtrooper move him.
Well, talking about it'd be nice to be more than 16 inches away from him, but I couldn't in that game because you're right there in the midst of those guys is the objective, and I had to be within 16 of that objective, so I was in assault range. Ugh.
But yeah, like I said, the downside to them, they don't have very many support, very many big guns. Like this list can take one tank
That's it?
or one tank platoon.
That's
And
it?
a couple of anti-tank stuff, but just one armor. That's it. And that's just support. That's not them. So yeah,
Do they have any vehicles, or they're just walking? It looks like they're just walking.
They're just walking.
Okay. Yeah, but you get that fearless veteran. with bombs.
Yeah. But I do like them for Italy, so.
That's new.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few of the infantry weapons. Not man-packed, not armored, or anything, just some infantry weapons. And I'll give you their rate of fire. Then you tell me what would be their rate of fire if they move, rate of fire if they're pinned. So we got rifles. The rate of fire is 1. So if they move,
It'd still be 1.
what if they're pinned?
Still be 1, but plus 1.
Yeah, same with move.
It's
It'd be
same
+1.
with movement. It'd be plus 1.
Okay. Rifle/machine gun teams. Rate of fire 2.
Yeah.
Well, you know that one because of Germany, I bet.
Yeah.
I don't have too many rifle machine guns. Okay, so rate of fire 2. What if they move?
That'd be 1.
What if they're pinned?
Still 1.
Okay, machine gun teams. So they're MG teams.
Is that the rate of fire 3 guys or 6?
Yep, 3.
3.
What if they move?
I think 1.
What if they're pinned?
2.
God! Oh, Arthur, quit getting this right!
That's the whole thing that's
Okay,
special
I
about
quit.
them. That's the whole thing that's special about them. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, that's one of those tricky things. If you're not thinking about it, you're like, oh, they're 3, so they dropped to 1. They're one of the few that have. It's kind of odd that okay, move, yeah, but if you're pinned, you still get 2 dice, so you're only losing 1 die. All right, Mr. Smarty, submachine gun teams, rate of fire 3. What if they move?
still 3.
Pinned.
This one I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna say 1.
You're right. Arthur, you're shooting 100%. Last one.
Well,
Last one.
I almost went to 3. I'm like, I'm not sure.
I'm not going to go to mortars and stuff like this. So the last one here. Assault rifles. Rate of fire 3. Move.
Is it still 3?
What is that your final answer?
I've only seen them once, and like remember reading the rules, like, oh, those are cool. Only outside was like they only have a range of 8, but let's say 3.
You're right. All right, pinned.
1.
You're right. So them and the submachine guns are going to be the same. Okay. The only one that's really tricky is the machine gun teams, and you got it with the pin. They only lose 1 die instead of 2. Yeah. So you did awesome on that one, Arthur. Good job.
This is your in-depth reporter, Tiger Sherman, from Military Times News, and our continuing coverage of national tactics.
All right, so I kind of wanted to do kind of a new segment where we kind of look at a special rule that a country can get. So the one I decided to start with was an American or United States rule, automatic rifles, which they get a rate of fire 1, like most rifles. They shoot 16 inches, firepower 6 plus, like most rifles. But what makes them different is that even if I move, I still rate of fire 1, but I don't get that +1 like most rifle companies would get.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
The other special rule is that if you don't pin them down and you come into assault and I get defensive fire, I get to re-roll misses on the defensive fire.
Nice. I just haven't seen that that rule that often.
No, actually, yeah, because normally you're assaulting with tanks or you pin my guys down.
Yeah.
And in some of the list, you can actually take the automatic rifles out and put regular rifles in and save some points. And sometimes I do that. This allows me to bring in other stuff.
Still, some of them, it's kind of nasty if you have large infantries.
I'm trying to think if USA really does have any large infantries. I guess the mechanized could, yeah. But you know, like artillery, if they shoot as gun team, they have automatic rifles. Mortars, if they shoot as a gun team, they have automatic rifles. So everything in the U.S. list, except for tanks, stuff like that. But if they don't shoot their main, I want to say their, in quotes, main gun, like their artillery or mortar, they can shoot as automatic rifles.
Hey, gotta keep that in mind.
So that is automatic rifles for the USA.
soldiers, you will shape up and you will listen, because we are now going to talk about Sun Tzu and the art of war. Attention!
Alright, we are continuing our Sun Tzu with terrain. And now we're heading to kind of a new area with several subcategories with it. And that is to do with Earth. So, starting with 13, the 6 principles are the principles connected with Earth. The general who has attained a responsible post must be careful to study them. And kind of what I thought from this was Earth meant like the ground or wherever, but apparently it's not.
Well, that's kind of what we just got through talking about.
So 14. Now an army is exposed to 6 several calamities not arising from natural causes, but from faults for which the general is responsible. These are 1. Flight, 2. Insubordination, 3. Collapse, 4. Ruin, 5. Disorganization, 6. Rout.
So yeah, basically, you need to be. There's 6 different ways as a general you can screw up royally.
Yep. So number 15, and this is going to be the last one we're going to talk about in this. So it's going to be a really short section because we kind of want to throw some of these others together, and that'll be a little bit longer. So number 15, other conditions being equal, if one force is hurled against another 10 times its size, the result will be the flight of the former. Duh. Well, it'd be like playing, okay, you get 100 points, I get 1,000 points.
Yeah.
You know, or you get 10 points and I get 1,000. I mean, what's going to happen in the game?
Or you get 10 points, you get 100. So I mean, like,
what would you get for 10? You can't get anything for 10 points. So the only thing I can think of is it's kind of like what we were talking about, like channeling, like the 300 or wherever.
Yeah.
They were vastly outnumbered. They still lost. They did do heavy losses, but they still lost. So
I'm trying to think like how. I guess it's like you're trying to go up against a much larger force. That's the fault of the general. I'm trying to see how.
Maybe it's points. This platoon versus this platoon point-wise. Is it going to be? I just think that that's why they make points in games. You know, we're going to play 1,500 points, and this unit costs this much, so you don't run into this situation. Because if you run into this situation, who would want to play the game? Except for people that like know how to tweak it to where they win all the time because they know how to, you know.
And also like obscene challenge.
Right. So, kind of applies, but with how points are set up in the game, it kind of doesn't.
Yeah, I'm still trying to see how like what is point considering these are supposed to be faults from the general.
Well,
other than
the general didn't realize that the army he was going against was that big. And then he goes, attack! And then suddenly, you know, oh, run!
Where's everyone running? Get back here, fuck!
So the general that doesn't know the force he's going against,
yeah.
you know, he hasn't reconned. It's like, oh, you know, there's not that many there, but then turns out there is. That's his fault.
Yeah. I guess there's been some times it's like, oh, yeah, I charged here because I should do well. Wait, you can do what?
Oh. Yeah. I guess that's know your enemy type situation again. All right, so we'll continue more with terrain next time, starting with 16.
Talking about collapse and insubordination.
Well, that wraps up another episode of War Journal, Flames of War. Your host, Arthur and Tracy, thank you for listening to this episode. You can find us on iTunes. If you like the episode, please subscribe and leave a positive review. You can find us on Facebook at Flames of War. And please like us. In addition, you can follow us on Twitter at warjournal_FOW. You can also find us on YouTube. Search for Tracy George, Flames of War. You can read Arthur's blog at chaosmagicwizards.blogspot.com. Finally, you can email us at warjournalflamesofwar@gmail.com. War Journal Flames of War is all one word, so no spaces are required. Also, please share the show on any social media of your choice. So, until next time, as always, have a good game.